I just want to say that the title of this video is completely wrong, and if you thought I was talking about Godzilla Project Mechagodzilla, then you're an idiot, because I'm actually going to be doing a spoiler-free review for Avengers Infinity War. I liked it, and I thought it was really good. Now go and see it, 10 out of 10. Okay, now let's talk about Godzilla Project Mechagodzilla, because that's fun. Snippety snap, my fellow human beings and our fellow creatures of the cosmos. This is Sam the Geiger fan, back with another episode of Year of the Monsters. And you're probably wondering, Sam, what's Godzilla Project Mechagodzilla? Well, I'll tell you. With the inevitable release of Godzilla City on the Edge of Tearing Apart the Fanbase, Godzilla Project Mechagodzilla is the prequel novel that acts as the sequel novel to the prequel novel that was a prequel novel to the prequel to the sequel. Yeah. This series is very hard to explain. All you need to know is it's basically prequel novel, Godzilla City on the Edge battle. So much like with this prequel's prequel, Godzilla Monster Apocalypse, we got a lot of cool kaiju monster stuff. And that's pretty neat, so I'm gonna talk about all that stuff, because that may or may not at all relate with possibilities for City on the Edge of Battle, or, you know, even POTM 3 or something like that, because, you know, that's a thing that exists. So I'm just looking that up because I'm a cool dude. Yeah. So I guess that the first thing I should mention is that all speculation for anime anti is basically dead, because Gigan already appeared in this film's universe. And his story is that he was a monster that was found off the coast of Siberia, and then the United Earth sort of took him and they made him fight against Godzilla, and he died. Unfortunately. Let's just get rid of this abomination. Bye! Okay, now we have that cleared out of our minds, we can talk about fun stuff. I think that's personally cool that Gigan was equipped by the United Earth to, you know, fight against Godzilla, because, you know, we haven't seen that, a good guy Gigan, a GGG good guy Gigan before, so it's kind of cool. But the whole origin makes me wonder, was Gigan already a cyborg found in Siberia, or was he just a normal monster who was sent to fight Godzilla, but then had cybernetic enhancements added onto him so that he could fight Godzilla more? Because it's stated later in the origin that he was equipped with that nanometal, the stuff that Mechagodzilla is made of. Look, Wikizilla doesn't do a fantastic job of explaining all that, so all it says is that he was discovered hibernating on the ocean floor. I don't know about any of that. I like to think that, personally, he was just found there as just a normal monster, and then, you know, was equipped by United Earth over time after he lost battles with Godzilla Earth, because I think that'd be a lot more interesting. We got some more monsters in here like Megalon and King Caesar, Titanosaurus. This book does confirm one thing, and that's that Mothra and Batra are officially canon in this film's universe. So all that speculation about, oh, is Mothra the god that the Hatua people are talking about, the native Earth peoples? Yeah, she is. And I think everyone got that from day one, so Toe, you really need to start updating your foreshadowing techniques, because that is not exactly your strong suit. What I like is that, you know, Mothra and Batra carry, you know, very sort of similar roles to what they had in the Heisei series, where Mothra is like, well, fam, we gotta protect these people because they're cool. You're bad. Get out of here. Whereas Batra just is also good, but is just edgy, and I'm not exactly sure how to feel about that, because Batra did not at all get the best treatment in the Heisei series. But on the plus side, he wasn't wrongly accused for doing the right thing, so that's a thumbs up for me. We got some more cool stuff about Godzilla Earth. Like, for instance, he has, you know, a spiral ray like he did in the Heisei series, which destroys a hecking asteroid. Like, what the heck? Get that Muto pushing back thing out of here. Get that multiple laser shooting out of your back bullcrap out of here. This is what matters. Atomic breath that can cut through hecking space rocks! That does make me wonder about the whole Spiral Ray situation. Like, was him glowing red in the trailer just charging up for a Spiral Ray? Mechagodzilla is the character that we get the most new stuff on, you know, in this prequel novel. We got a hecking ton of new stuff revolving around the Millennium Falcon Megatron clone, so let's talk about that. We know he's got nanometal, which I think was stated like a bajillion times before this. He's actually an AI unit, which I think is really awesome because he has a sense of self-awareness that a lot of other Mechagodzillas don't have. Kiryu kinda had this, but that whole side of her was basically scrapped. This version of Mechagodzilla has a convergent neutron cannon, which I have no idea what that is. I know that Neutron is a certain Nickelodeon show that spawned a lot of memes, so if that's just a meme cannon, then I am 100% down for that. She has a blade launcher that can launch blades, which was actually installed on Gigan earlier, so are those dorsal plates that we see a lot just retractable blades? If that is, and that is absolutely awesome. She has a hyper lance, which I know that a lance is like a long stick thing, so does she come with a long stick thing? If so, that's awesome. A nanofield armor and armor plate, which is basically like Godzilla Earth's shield thing, but instead of, you know, energy, it's nanometal, which is cool. And then she has a plasma booster, which allows her to fly. We don't really get a whole lot of information about why Mechagodzilla looks the way that she does. I was assuming that, you know, we got a lot of, you know, cool, unique answers in this book, but we didn't. An idea that I thought was always cool when it came to this Mechagodzilla was like, what if we took some of the best ideas from previous mechas and put it into Mechagodzilla? Because a lot of people were saying like, oh, it looks like the head of Mogira placed on Megatron. So maybe the whole reason why the head on this Mechagodzilla looks like Mogira was that it was actually inspired by Mogira, so that this Mechagodzilla, you know, can dig on the ground, which I think is 100% cool, and I'd be totally down for that theory. I am 100% supporting that. But if it isn't, then oh well, the design is still cool anyways, so I'll live with it. So with all that monster stuff out of the way, and, you know, I want to talk about the rest of the trilogy after Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle, because I'm really kind of unsure on this, you guys. Now, I stated in my Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle trailer thoughts that a lot of people who are just complaining about it don't have the best of reasons. Like, oh, I didn't like POTM, so I won't like this, which is an understandable complaint because these are the same people who wrote POTM, so chances are if you don't like that, then you won't like this. Other complaints include like, oh, it's a sequel that's being like released a month after, you know, POTM was released, which this was a planned trilogy from the beginning. It's basically an animated series put into theaters, so I don't really see why that's at all a argument to begin with. But for part 3, I'm kinda sort of unsure about it. You might say that I don't have enough details about part 3 to necessarily draw a reasonable conclusion, and while that is kinda true, these are the same writers, same people who are making, you know, this overall movie, and we have enough details from this prequel novel alone to get a decent estimation of what the plot is for part 3. And from what I'm getting at, it's that Mothra is gonna fight Godzilla Earth, and yeah. You can only do really so much with that. There isn't a lot that you can do unless you introduce another monster like, say, Batra or Mechagodzilla, or just not have a Mothra versus Godzilla story, because that would just be boring, and I don't want this trilogy to be boring because this trilogy has built up one of the most fascinating universes in the Godzilla lore franchise, and if it's just gonna end with a basic story that we've seen countless times before, then it's gonna be boring. If POTM 3 does this, it's probably gonna be extremely boring because we've seen this before. City on the Edge of Battle, I said, is gonna be the world building movie, and I'm sticking by that and hoping that it's just not gonna be a retread of POTM, which what we're getting from the trailers, it's not going to be, which I'm glad about that. But if POTM 3 is just gonna be a story that we've seen a billion times before, I don't know. I stated in my City on the Edge of Battle trailer thoughts that I really want to see this trilogy through so that I can, you know, judge it completely, but I don't know. I don't know. If this is what part 3 is going to be giving us, then I'm kind of worried for the future of this trilogy, guys. But these are just my thoughts, and I want to know, what are your guys' thoughts on Project Mechagodzilla and the future of POTM as a whole? Do you think it's good, trash, or somewhere in between? But anyways, this is Sam the Geigen fan telling you guys that Pachimon is God, and remember to wash your hands.